Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it is me, Ben here, back to talk about how you in fact do have potential for prosperity. Guys, I'm very excited for today. The drink of the day, believe it or not, is from my beautiful wife who went grocery shopping today and really bought me something special. So, I love Olipop. I never buy it, it's too expensive, but it is very good and I like it a lot. Very nice. Alrighty, let's just go right into it, guys. I don't see why to waste any time. God is calling. The Spirit is here, welcoming us. Let's go ahead and jump into this. We are about 1/5 of the way through. Almost there. Okay, where are we now? Awesome. Okay, here we go. This email is All of the Adventures, 12/18/2022, December 18th, 2022. Well, here we are again. To start off, I want to highlight this one day where everything was really hard. It was raining the whole day and my knees were hurting super bad. This random guy walks up and says hello to us and gives us both the biggest hug. I was so grateful for it. His teenage kid was about 17 or so and he was on the spectrum. He couldn't spell or read, but he could kind of speak. He would say hi to all the people that walked past. He was so sweet, but couldn't tell us where he lived. He wanted to be baptized, but was afraid his parents wouldn't approve. This guy was all alone and it broke my heart. He was so tender and loving and happy. It changed the course of my week. Secondly, I have a present for our Christmas thing on Tuesday for the mission. It's a mug with 2 pictures of my face on it saying Merry Christmas from Elder Barnes in Portuguese. So, Feliz Natal de Elder Barnes. It is super funny and it was like 40 reais, but hey, who doesn't want a mug? We had the ward Christmas party and if we had an investigator with us, we could take them and go. So me and Elder Ibrahim got an investigator and went on in. Tons of good food and drinks, but we had to leave before the giant table of desserts opened up, so a member threw 4 of everything in a big bag for us to take home. It was great. Another night, a random dude stopped us and started speaking English. He was the first guy I've met who can speak it really well, and he was asking us about our church, and then asked if we believe in the gift of tongues. Then asked if we spoke strange languages, then decided to start showing us. My guy opens his mouth and says a bunch of random sounds and asks if we do this thing where we spin in circles when we feel God's power. Then went and explained how he learned to talk to God, but literally admits he sees demons and speaks with the devil often. But that's just part of learning how to talk with God, apparently. He was so nice, but it took like 45 minutes. It was really interesting, but he was so nice, and it reminded me how us missionaries kind of are. Interesting getting perspective on the other side. So this week we spoke with a girl and her family. That means a referral from Michael, our other baptism. This family was super sweet, and Michael joined us for the second visit. He got baptized 4 weeks ago, and 2 weeks ago received the priesthood. He was seriously already quoting the Doctrine and Covenants, bearing his testimony and telling all of them how much he loves the gospel. He helped with the Christmas party and is completely enveloped in the word and gospel. He loves it, and hardly even smokes. I talk about them a lot because Michael has made so much progress in his testimony. He had thousands of doubts, but now he is seriously just living happy, loving what he has. The Holy Ghost is really magical. There is no wonder why we are trying to give this amazing gift to every person we can. Michael and Yuri brought us some pizza because this Sunday was Elder Ibrahim's birthday. They always give us hugs and say they love us. So this family was a mom, dad, a son, and a daughter. Originally, the daughter was interested in the gospel, and we were trying to baptize her, but she didn't want it. We visited 3 times and had multiple hours put into teaching her. She just didn't care. Then as we were about to leave, her brother finally sits down on the couch, and we talked to him about the gospel. He used to be part of this church called Universal, where you give tithing every 10 minutes, like literally, and it only went to the pastor, and some of it went to the poor. He ended up enjoying what we taught him and joined us at the Christmas party. Then the next day, this Sunday, came to church with Michael and was baptized by my companion. It was really in the middle for him. He never said yes to baptism until after church. He just kept saying maybe. But he said yes, and he is a new man now. He said he might want to serve a mission, so let's see if that's actually true. Also, the zone leaders totally baptized Santa. Pretty awesome. One last thing I want to talk about is, sometimes we forget. I was so enveloped in the work this week, when I opened my messages with my mom and went through some old photos, I almost started crying. Because as insane as this adventure is in my life, leading up to this was quite the adventure as well. And while you're in the moment, you don't see it. But dang, you grow and grow and grow. You never stop. A mission is like a portal to the future. You go through and boom, you grow so much so fast. It's like 10 times speed, but it's totally worth it. Don't forget where you come from. Don't forget all your old adventures. Don't forget the adventures you are having right now. Live in the moment. Treasure the past and prepare for the future. Thanks to all those that made my adventures and helped me grow. I know now why my mom loves photos so much. Thank you, Mama, for all the photos. Love you all. Please email me. Wow. Well, today was quick, let's be honest. But lots of beautiful stories in here. And reality is, the first story I think actually is probably my favorite. The random guy giving us a hug. I mean, that happened a lot. I'd say a lot more often than you'd imagine. Generally, it was a drunk guy, though, who didn't know what was happening. But this one, super special. He really came and showed us love and gave us a hug, and no matter what it meant to him, to us, and to me in that moment, God knew I needed that. Something to smile about, something to laugh about. And honestly, like that hug, I remember the feeling of it. I mean, guys, imagine the feeling of hugging your mom, right? I mean, everybody knows that feeling. Or hugging your dad, or hugging a family member. Like, it's just so much love, and it's so much connection that you've already had for so long. When this guy randomly came up and hugged us, I remember honestly feeling that, being like, wow, thank you. Like, I needed this. Thank you so much for hugging me and for sharing whatever love you have to share with me. And that was a wonderful part about Brazil, is people would hug all the time, and the women would have to be like, oh, sorry, we can't hug. But, these men and all these guys, and even like the older women, you can hug the senoras just fine, no problem. And it was so special, and it brings a lot of peace. My present, that was a $40 mug that had my face on it. That was a start of a tradition, let me tell you. And did it continue? Absolutely it did. It was pretty awesome. Yeah, the Christmas party was incredible. I remember how awesome all the desserts were. It was so fun that they threw them. Literally, this lady just grabs a bag and she's like, and throws, like, steals one of the trays of food and, like, just plops in, like, 5 of everything and shoves it in the bag and, like, hands it to us. It was so awesome. She was so sweet. Yeah, the guy speaking tongues, that's a really common thing in Brazil, for people to speak in tongues. Now, if it's just like, they say it's the gift of tongues, which is cool. You know what? If that's what you believe, that's what you believe. I prefer to believe that it really is just helping us speak a language that we can understand, and God desires that we understand. I don't think making a bunch of sounds and yelling and spinning in circles is really the way that God communicates with us. I think he is generally pretty clear with his expectations and like what he wants us to know and feel. So even though sometimes it's hard to maybe get an answer, usually I think it's because we're hard-hearted and we're not choosing to see it, rather than God being unclear. Oh yeah, Michael's cousin was seriously awesome, super great guy, and I think I wanted to clarify, when I said he was saying he wasn't like super sure yet, and he was a big maybe until after, it's not like we shoved him in the water, okay? He said yes, he wanted to, he just didn't know if he trusted the power that it would have, and if it could really turn his life around. And so then after, it was like, yeah, that was amazing, and it totally turned my life around. I specifically remember how much happier he was after. Guys, like, when people get baptized, especially like even just recent converts and like converts in general, when they go into that water and they come out, they literally are like glowing. They're like, wow, like the joy is there and the spirit is so strong. It's a beautiful experience. It's amazing. And then I love, the ending is the biggest main point of all, I guess. We get so enveloped in the work sometimes that we forget about kind of the adventures we've already lived through. We get so lost in what we are doing that we don't remember all of our old adventures, and we aren't grateful enough for them, right? I do remember this is a moment where it's been happening the whole time, but I realize how much I've grown, how much I've changed. In reality, is the mission, like the perfect description is a mission is like a portal to the future, and life really does go at 10 times speed. You're just thrown in the trenches, and it's like, good luck. It's not like, oh, let me ease you in, to adult life. No, you're going to go take it all right now. It's brutal. It's very brutal. It's very important to remember your adventures, to remember the love you've had and all the adventures you've had in your life beforehand that have guided you to where you are right now. I think finally at the end here, what I kind of wanted to focus on is actually this part where I talk about how Michael had thousands of doubts, and now he's just living happy and he loves what he has, and the Holy Ghost was really magical. And no wonder we're trying to give this amazing gift to everybody. This was the first time in my life that I had actually seen the power of the gift of the Holy Ghost, right? It's not just what you feel temporarily. The gift of the Holy Ghost promises it is with you all the time when you receive it. And as normal members of the church, I feel like, and just people who are Christian and believe in God, I feel like we forget and we lose this sensitivity to the Spirit that I think we would have if we were willing to see and willing to feel it. I feel like we feel it so much that we're just like, oh yeah, anyways, it's just my thoughts, it's just me. But we don't realize how much the gift of the Holy Ghost plays a part in our lives. Every small feeling you have and inspiration and idea and thought, so almost all of them could be from God. If it promotes doing good acts, it's from the Holy Ghost. The Holy Ghost will tell you when things are wrong. Man, do I have stories about that are coming up soon. The gift of the Holy Ghost is truly the most powerful thing we have. It's amazing. The priesthood is great. All this stuff is great, but the gift of the Holy Ghost is the biggest blessing I think we can receive. And I think in my mission and in this moment is when I really learned that, and I started to see that. And that's what made me so hungry and so driven to try to help other people be baptized. It's because the reality is it's not just about getting them in water and getting a tick on your list or, oh yeah, I baptized this many people. Like, it doesn't matter. The goal is we want to baptize everybody because we see how much of a difference the gift of the Holy Ghost does in their lives. And every miracle in this book that I'm going to read, that we still have, like I said, we're like 1/4 through. Every single miracle in this book that happens to somebody after they get baptized is because of the gift of the Holy Ghost. And there's plenty. The lifestyle changes, the feelings, the emotions, the excitement, the day-to-day peace. Like, you can see it in them. You can see it change the way they feel. And I have so many different examples I'm so excited for you guys to hear about. But this is the day that I think I really started noticing the power of the gift of the Holy Ghost. So my invitation to you guys is to go and live your day-to-day life and try to see exactly where the gift of the Holy Ghost is playing a part in your day, right? And how it's affecting your heart. And try to pay attention very, very intently to when you're feeling the Holy Ghost and when it's influencing you and how it's guiding you in your day-to-day life. Because the gift is with you all the time. Now, whether or not you choose to have it with you, that's your choice, right? Obviously, if you're doing bad things, it's going to leave. At least it's going to... I try to imagine it like a rope. Like, I feel like it never snaps, but I feel like it just thins out more and more until there's just like one string holding you on to the gift. But it never snaps. But it's always just like, it could be one string, or you could be like this whole, wrapped around big, thick rope, that never lets go. And I think that's totally up to us. But I do promise you guys that it is with you. And if you invite it and you open your heart and you open your mind and you invite it to your life and you think about it and you just start to even think about it, God knows your thoughts. The Holy Ghost knows your mind, knows your heart, and is there to help guide you. So that's my invitation. Pay a lot more attention to a miracle, the greatest miracle of all, that we have to receive the gift of the Holy Ghost. I cannot testify about that enough. I've testified about it for 2 years straight, every minute of every day, to everybody I talk to. And I can testify about it for the rest of my life. It's incredible, life-changing when you can start to see it act in your life. My mission, the only difference for me now than for me on my mission, besides my purpose and kind of what I was dedicating my time to, was in reality my perspective on the Holy Ghost and on understanding how I communicate, how the Spirit communicates with me and how I communicate with God. Okay? When we can feel the consistent, deep, powerful feeling of the Holy Ghost in our day-to-day life, the gift of the Holy Ghost, that is when we will be able to better understand how we communicate with God and how He communicates with us, and how the Holy Ghost does truly guide us in our day-to-day lives if we received it. And I know these things to be true, and I hope you guys can apply them in your lives. I promise you will see miracles and blessings. And I've seen many from my life, so that's my experience, and I know you can have the same. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate your support. Go ahead and never, ever forget. And actually, you know what? Go and tell your neighbor. Go and tell your friends. Go tell your family that they do, and you do, all in fact, have potential for prosperity. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.